Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You could use other people's emotes. If you want to be a lurker, you could lurk. That's totally okay as well. Hello. Unjon's here. Welcome, Unjon. Happy to have you here on this fine Monday evening. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. If you didn't have work today, congratulations. If you did have work today, hey, it's a Monday. What are you going to do? I did some work, both on and off the court. That is a figure of speech. I did not play basketball. But I did do some paperwork, some stuff, getting prepped for a thing that is a long ways off, a thing that is not until October, but some documents that need to be read and agreed upon. So I did that today. Spent about an hour reading documents. That was fun. And then our neighbors came over, and I got to grilling. That's right. Lord Cratchit says, hey, Pat, mid 80s this week, so it's summertime now. Yeah, I'm in the high 70s right now. It's going to peak up. Hopefully soon we'll be turning the air conditioner back on, but we didn't have it on today, which made sense because we were coming in and out of the house. We ate inside. We hung out on the porch. Yeah, my neighbors came over who were close friends with my folks, and I got the grill going, my first grilling of the year. Very happy about that. And I will say, it went really fucking well. Maybe my burgers were a little more cooked on the outside than I would have liked. The inside was perfect, so I'll take that. Maybe a little more crunchy than I would have liked. We had these chicken skewers that my mom picked up at the grocery store. They were wrapped in bacon. And that's tough because it's raw chicken and then wrapped in bacon, and those cook at a different time. So I kind of had to manage that by turning them a lot so the bacon didn't just completely charcoal. Cooking over charcoal, by the way. And then also hot dogs. And I didn't have a hot dog, but I did make them. And those were great. Those were not burnt because that's always my fear is I forget to rotate the hot dogs and then one side gets real crispy and it's not pleasant. I know some people really like their hot dogs really well cooked. I don't go for that. That's just not my style. I never tweeted out that I'm live, so I'm gonna do my live tweet right now. So I forgot to tweet. That's weird. I just forgot to tweet that I was streaming. So now I've done that. Last verse says must be nice. It's mid 80s right now. Yeah. We've had a weird late spring here. We had a hot season a spell, and then that hot spell went away. When Jeff says like 76 here, hitting 80s, 90s later in the week. Well, there you go. I am now again looking at the old weather forecast here. I'm gonna look at the 5-day for the old neighborhood. Yeah, we're low 70s here, but inside the house it doesn't feel like that. So let's see. Let's look at the old to the 10-day. Ooh, yeah. All right. We're getting rain this weekend, but this week we are in the mid to high 70s. So hopefully my next build stream will involve air conditioning on Thursday, which will be good because I'm going to get hot. I'm going to get hot during this stream because I got the door open or the window open, but still. You had about 15 seconds of rain. Yeah, that'll happen. All right, let's go to the overhead. Do that. There we go. Slide that over. We're working on the Heindree. The Heindree is a from Mercury. You know at this point. I've been building a lot. Thank you to Claire, who watches the Twitch VODs. Hi, Claire. Thanks for watching the Twitch VODs. And thanks for picking up this kit off my Amazon wish list. It's very fucking kind of you. I was thrilled to that you would do that. We're going to start with the head. Reminder, friends. No polycaps for these high grades, for the Witch from Mercury high grades. No polycaps. Some stickers. We got a few here. 3 of them are for the head. So, like that's a lot of it. But this kit, as you can see here, has a shield and it has 2 shields. It has a defense shield and then a shield as part of its weapons, which is silly in a fun way. And I appreciate that. So we'll start with some stickers here and get this all together. Lovely colors on this kit. And I'm not sure 100% this is going to happen, but I've been thinking about it. a request came in my Q&A. If you don't know, I have a Patreon, and the only exclusive thing I do at all for the old Build with Baer, anything that I do, my only exclusive content is I do a Q&A that's only on my Patreon. And there was a question that came in there, and I won't tell you the question because, it's an exclusive Patreon. But the answer I gave might be interesting to some of you in that it did reference or in having this conversation. Sorry, I gotta see how this wants me to go. Just to kind of put a fine point on it. Is that right or is that no? Sorry, this is a little confusing. I might do some glitter paint because I only did it. This is the thing that I didn't really even consider. My glitter paint application was only on the stream, which was on the why can't I think of the name of it? Plastic Model Weekender. It was only part of the Plastic Model Weekender that I did that stream, or that I did the glitter paint. And I was like, oh, shit, that's right. I haven't done it on this channel. So I've been thinking that I should I should pick out a kit that makes a lot of sense to glitterify. And it might be this one, because this color with the purple accents is like, I don't know, really striking. I think it might be fun to cover this thing in glitter. So I am considering this to be one of those kits. And I'm going to look through my saved kits to see if there's anything else that I would like to throw some glitter paint on. And maybe in the future we'll do a paint stream. Because I feel like if I do like two, I did two and I had to kind of rush the second one on stream because I had less than 2 hours and there were donations to be read and I had some people in my ear, which was nice. I'm not accustomed to that. So I didn't really get to dive into a kit the way, or the kits that I would on these streams. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Nothing set in stone, but that is something that I am considering at the moment. So this would be a prime candidate for that because it is like a really lovely looking kit. All right, so we gotta put a sticker on the back of this, and then we gotta put a sticker on here, and then we can start throwing it all together. Basically, we're gonna put a sticker that this is gonna go on top of and cover, so it'll kind of go like that. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's do the back sticker here. This is a tiny sticker, teeny tiny sticker. So yeah, so I'm considering doing a paint stream because I've never done one on my own channel. I've only done one once. And that was, of course, for the Plastic Model Weekender. So, we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I have thought about doing another Kit Bash stream because I thought that the one I've done, was pretty fun. But I'm not convinced that that's something that I actually want to do again. I thought it was neat at the time, but I don't know. But things are on the table. All right, so. There's that, and then there. All right, so we are going to talk about AEW's Double or Nothing, the pay-per-view that happened last night, and we will chat all about that. Go through the card, my thoughts. I watched the whole thing, and I have thoughts on it, so we can chat all about that. I have not watched Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling's Hype, which was produced by Hyper Misao. That show went up this weekend. The replay went up this weekend. Have not watched it yet. I plan to watch it this Wednesday after Dynamite, so I can watch it with friends because I got a wrestle crew, and it'd be way more fun to watch it with them. So I'm waiting. I might watch it tomorrow, just so that I can look up some of the references because there's some deep cut Tokyo Joshi Pro references in there that I am not super familiar with. Okay, so I think this just kind of rests in here. Yeah, this kind of just rests there, and then we'll lock in place. and then we got one more sticker coming up here. Lasper says, I didn't buy Double or Nothing, and for what I hear, it seems like I was correct in doing so. So, I would describe this as a mixed bag of a show. I think that there were some really fun, well done matches in Double or Nothing. And also, there were some matches that were paced so weirdly and overbooked to fuck that it was like, at the end, I'm glad I watched it. Certainly glad I watched it with friends. But is it my favorite show? No, it wasn't my favorite AEW show. I also don't think it was the better pay-per-view of the weekend. Because I think even without watching Night of Champions seems like the better show. But we'll go through it. The buy-in, because of course, you know, gambling theme, so they gotta come up with a gambling thing here. So the buy-in happened. That was Matt and Jeff Hardy and Hook, who is Taz's son, which is fun, which is just fun to remember that that's Taz's son, versus Ethan Page and the Guns, who are the sons of Billy Gunn. And that's also fun to remember about those two boys. And they had a wrestling match, and the stipulation for this match was that if the Hardys and Hook won, then they would be in control of, the Hardys would specifically, they would be in control of the contract of Ethan Page, who for a while there was in control, for a very long time, was in control of Ethan Page was in control of Matt's contract for quite some time. So this was like a payback. And here's the thing. Hook is undefeated in wrestling because he's only wrestled for AEW. And he's won every match he's been in. Also, he's won every match via submission. He has never lost. So here's the thing. When you put Hook in that match, because originally it was Isaiah Cassidy, but he is kayfabe injured. He's not really injured, but they're saying he's injured. Once you do that, we already know who wins. Now, obviously, having the Hardys win the match is the feel-good, cool way to start the evening, so it makes sense that would happen. But, like, come on. Hook's first loss is not going to be in a six-man tag at the buy-in for a pay-per-view. Like, that's just not going to happen. It would need to mean something. So that wasn't going to happen. Also, Jeff Hardy has not wrestled since he was encouraged to get some help for his driving while intoxicated issues, consistent issues. I wish him well. Jeff Hardy looked like he hasn't wrestled in a year. Jeff Hardy looked like he hasn't worked out in a year. Jeff Hardy looks like he shouldn't be wrestling anymore. And it's sad. Matt Hardy already moves around like he's hurt, like moving around hurts him. And now Jeff seems out of sorts. There was a move that I am not convinced was part of the story because he slipped and landed in a way that did not look like it was staged. It looked like it fucking hurt. And I am concerned because storyline wise, I think these two are going to like try to wrestle against like FTR at some point. And that's going to be real bad because I don't think they have it in them anymore. And that sucks. But like, I don't know. I saw Jeff and Matt, the top rope it, yes, Lashbrook, where he did a step up and then just slipped and ate shit. And it doesn't look like on purpose. That on shit that was not a safe, easy landing. It did not look like a slip. That did not look like on purpose. That looked like, because Jeff was already out of it. He like, there was a couple spots that looked real ugly. Yeah, I think he was maybe mentally ready to come back, but I don't think he's physically ready to be in the ring. And that's a shame. I saw Matt and Jeff wrestle against the Young Bucks. I've talked about this before at Ring of Honor. And I never thought, at that time, I had never thought that I was going to see Jeff Hardy in person wrestle again since I had seen him in the early 2000s. So I was pretty stoked about that. But now I'm like, yikes, dude. Yikes. Yeah, I don't think he should be wrestling anymore. It's just my opinion on that. That match was fine. Let's see. Unfortunately, we had Jim Ross at ringside. The ringside announce table was, he wasn't there the whole night. Tony Schiavone took over at one point, which was great. We did have the issue of, a weird thing to say. They were at ringside, which is interesting. It's a really strange thing to have them all at ringside. This is the first time they've ever had the announce table at ringside. And at one point, a chair came close to the announce desk, and JR was fucking pissed off about that, which I understand. That's a reasonable reaction to have, but also you're a broadcast journalist, JR. Fucking be a pro about this shit. But constantly the announcers were worried throughout the night, which was, I think, a good running gag of them constantly being worried about shenanigans, because there was the anarchy in the arena and the unsanctioned match. So, and even the trios match was all over the place. So there was a lot of reasons to be nervous. I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see. The 21-man Blackjack Battle Royale, where everyone got an intro, which was kind of funny. And almost all of the intros were before the actual pay-per-view, which is kind of a fun way of being like, hey, look at all these stars you're going to see if you just stick around. It had a lot of fucking tag teams in it, and a lot of good moments. I would like to see the Switchblade Jay White and Rockhard Juice Robinson. I would like to see them against Penta and Ray Fenix. I think that would be a really interesting. That got teased a little bit, and I think that would be an interesting matchup. That would be real good. 8. Where is 8? Where are you, 8? 8 is here. It came down to Swerve Strickland and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is the champion. This was for the international, not Intercontinental, the international title. And of course, if he had been eliminated previously, Orange Cassidy would just lost the belt. They were both on the outside, and then Swerve was kind of like holding on by one arm, and instead of doing the orange punch, where they're constantly playing up the fact that Orange Cassidy's hand is weak from injury. He instead just went over and lightly kicked Swerve Strickland's hand, and then as Swerve Strickland fell back, he reached out his hands like this, like he was desperately trying to grab at the rope like a cartoon character, and it was very fucking good. Look up a clip of that. It's really fucking funny. And that remained the best match of the night for me up until the one of two main events. Like, that was just such a good match that I was like, well, sorry, everybody. Yeah, there were some good bits. Also, Swerve didn't get into the match because you don't have to. He didn't get to the match for a really long time. But when he got in, I was like, there's still so many people left, buddy. Why didn't you wait a little longer if you were going to wait? And that did make sense to me. Also, they're fine, probably. But Orange Cassidy inadvertently helped get Chuck Taylor eliminated, which bummed. It's a bummer. It was so fun, though. Oh, also at one point, Commander, Bandito, and the Lucha Brothers were all working together as a unit. There was like a Lucha team and that like a AAA Lucha squad, and that was fucking cool. And I would be happy to see more of that combination because that was very just like fun to see. Because it's like, hey, what if one of us won? I'm like, that is totally an acceptable tactic. And I thought that was neat. Big Bill looked like a big old big boy. It was good. Um, let's see. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match. The first of several matches that never got into gear and just dragged on and was kind of a fucking bummer to watch. Not a big fan of this particular match. So, Jericho Appreciation Society, everyone but Sammy Guevara came out because Sammy is in the semi-main event slash double main event because it's double or nothing. Sammy wasn't there, but everybody else was there. And of course, you know, hey, Adam Cole only has Roderick Strong in his corner, and they got all these other guys. But the difference maker was the enforcer, not the referee. The enforcer for the match was Sabu, which is fun. That is a fun bit of business. Sabu lives in Vegas. He came out. He started hitting people and throwing chairs at folks. He dived slash leaped slash fell off the top turnbuckle into two people on a table. And then he chased off all the members of the Jericho Appreciation Society, and none of them ever came back. And that's weird. And that was a weird bit of business. We did have Britt Baker coming out and just hitting the shit out of Jericho with a kendo stick as retribution, and then Saraya came out, and then they left. So that was how that got equalized. Also, Roderick Strong left at some point or early on and didn't come back. It ended with unsanctioned match ended with a ref stoppage. The referee decided that match could not continue the way it was going. It was too hard. Jericho was out. There was a fire extinguisher spot that was pretty great. The crowd was fucking dead for this match. Once Sabu did a cool thing, they were done, which is weird. The replay of the Adam Cole using the fire extinguisher on Jericho is probably going to be great because they'll edit out all the dead time while Cole was trying to get in position and get it to work right. I put this on wrong. I realize now that I did this wrong. I was like, why isn't this working? Because I was doing it upside down like a fucking dumbass. So that's the reason why this wasn't working. Because a user error. I'm the user. That match never really got going. And then also got completely undercut because later, on the fucking pay-per-view, they set up a match for Dynamite. And it's like, are ticket sales low to this Dynamite? Is that why we're doing this? But anyway, it's going to be a mixed tag match with Cole and his wife, Britt Baker, versus Chris Jericho and Saraya. And I don't give a shit about that match. But it was like, but Adam Cole won. He shouldn't have to fight Jericho anymore. That should have been the end of the feud. It's not the end of the feud because Jericho needs to get his win back because he lost to Roderick Strong and he also lost to Adam Cole. So he's got to fucking win this mixed tag match, I guess. I guess that's what's happening. Anyway, it sucks. Was not good. Then we had the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, FTR versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, with Mark Briscoe as the special guest referee for that match. And this was overbooked and plotting and slow and weirdly paced. It ended the way it should have. Mark got knocked out. and then Aubrey Edwards came down to be the substitute referee, and then she got hit with a chair by Karen Jarrett, which is like cool for Aubrey, but also like, really? We got fucking Karen Jarrett hitting a referee with a fucking guitar? That's what we're doing in this match? One of the worst things to ever happen to Impact TNA, which is fucking saying something. God. Unbelievable that happened. It was so overbooked. It was so much. There was always the chance that Jay and Double J were going to win, which was like a nightmare scenario. Because like I had to root for FTR to win this one. Because the idea of a man in his 50s as a tag champion who also works in the back office and is also annoying. I was like, oh, please no, please no, please no. The best part of this match was that Sanjay Dutt had spray paint on the back of his suit jacket. He had a big spray painted thing on there, and that was good. But yeah, it was totally a worthless thing. Let's see. Also, Mark wasn't a great referee. Not all wrestlers are great referees. It was fine, but it wasn't good. Because he did try to eject people who were being annoying, and then he got hit, and then when he came to, he didn't continue to eject them because he just came up from being knocked out. It was not a good match. You know what was pretty fucking good? The ladder match for the TNT Championship. Wardlow versus Christian Cage. Luchasaurus was not at ringside. He did come out to make his presence known. And then also Arn Anderson was not at ringside, but then he came out to make his presence known. Arn Anderson, to counteract Luchasaurus coming at him, was to bite one of Luchasaurus's fingers in such a way, and then he was supposed to pop a blood capsule in his mouth, so it looked like he had done some damage to Luchasaurus's finger. But he took so long to do it that the end result did not look good, which was a shame, and took way too long because Arn Anderson has trouble moving around, which is fine because he's an old retired wrestler, and it's okay. Hey, Mr. Bob just resubbed for 69 months on a 69-month streak. Nice, nice, nice. Let's throw the Baer Cave Lego side tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Thank Mr. Bob for that. That is so nice. That is lovely to see. Thank you, Mr. Bob, for the incredibly nice amount of months. That's just very good. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Very nice. Also, this match was pretty nice. Christian Cage, he's older. He's been wearing a lot of dark, like black turtlenecks as a manager, and so he wore a sleeveless turtleneck that doesn't look good, and that's the point because he's a shit heel, and it was great. I think he did a pretty fucking awesome job. I was happy to see Christian in one of the better matches. It was still a little slow because it had a lot of ladder stuff, and Wardlow can fucking move, but this was not the match to showcase that Wardlow can fucking move. I guess that's the thought. But yeah, it was all right. I was really afraid Christian was going to win, and then Wardlow was going to have another incredibly short reign with the TNT title, but he won. I imagine he'll face Luchasaurus. That's what this is building to. But it was so fine. Let's see. How do I put this together here? This has got to go in like this. And now I have 3 more stickers to apply. And I just have to figure out where they go. And we are almost done with our stickers here. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so 6 goes down there. And then 4 and 5 are here. Pop these out here. These are color correcting stickers. Not my favorite, but okay. Again, this kit doesn't have a lot of stickers, and it's just unfortunately very top heavy. A lot of stickers like right now. So we'll put that on there. And then we'll use the X-Acto blade to get it in the right spot, and then put some pressure on there. Cool. Also, a unique move happened in this cage match, or so this ladder match. So often, a wrestler has to climb the ladder, and someone will stop them before they get to the top to grab the belts. Right? It's classic, right? Now, normally it's just, oh, I'm exhausted from this match. I now suck at climbing a ladder because I need to stall for time while someone gets into the right position or whatever, or sets up something elaborate or whatever. In this case, Wardlow was slow to climb up a ladder at one point because he ended up having his legs split between a rung of a ladder, and his balls hurt. He got hit in Yambag City, and that made him worse at climbing a ladder. And I was like, yes, this makes sense to me. I understand this. Also, at one point, Arn Anderson pushed the ladder, and then Christian fell off the ladder and just landed in Wardlow's arms, and that was a nice little bit of business. Wardlow did the Jeff Hardy off a top ladder swanton, and that's dumb, and he shouldn't have done it. It looked cool, but like, come on, kid, you don't need to be doing that shit. They like you, man. You don't have to be doing that. Come on. This kit is very similar to the last one we worked on, in that the chest and waist are the same unit. So this will be another kit that's going to be pretty easy to put together because we don't have an elaborate shield. We have smaller shields, but one of our shields is also where the weapons go, which is fun. Jamie Hayter lost to Toni Storm. Apparently, Jamie Hayter is injured. She wasn't injured enough that she couldn't compete, but she couldn't do like a real long program. And they didn't want her to just lose, like have to give up the belt, because that's happened too much in the women's division. So instead of dropping the belt, like giving up the title, she just wrestled a weird match that was overbooked nonsense so she could lose. So Toni Storm is the first ever AEW women's double champion. First time ever that's happened, which is cool for Toni, especially because her first title was the interim title, and then she lost the interim belt to Jamie Hayter, and then they made it the actual title. So she retroactively, while she held that belt, she was never actually the champion. She was the interim champion, which is silly, but that's over, and now she actually has the belt, which is nice. I don't love this, but it happened. Lasrick says, but also kind of a bummer because both of her titles were audibles. Yes, her being the interim champion was an audible. There is talk that Toni Storm was supposed to beat Thunder Rosa back in the day before Thunder got injured. And then when they unified them, she was supposed to win. That was the original plan before they decided we actually want to put the belt on Jamie, and then we'll make it retroactive. So it kind of is a little bit of justice for her. She is a fine champion, fine position to be in. I would much rather see Jamie Hayter with that belt and a bunch of cool matches that don't involve all the nonsense she's been involved in, but it happens. And it is nice to have a title change, because I thought that maybe Christian was going to win, but I did not see any other belts changing hands. I mean, there was always the chance that Double J were going to win, but I was really afraid they were, so I didn't want to think about that. But yeah, kind of surprised. Good for them. But like, Really overbooked. Lots of nonsense in this one. Uh, why was why did Jamie come out alone? Why didn't she have help? Why do we need Britt Baker and Sheeta coming out? Hikaru Sheeta coming out to make the saves. Just come out there. That's silly. That's nonsense. They know what's going on. They were recently heels. They get it. Come on. You just come out at the top. Don't come in to make the save. Just be out there already. Silly. House of Black. I did like Cater as a champ going. I'm just going to have a bunch of rad Joshi matches. Totally Lashbrook. She just had awesome matches she wanted to have, and that was a fun part of her reign. She's like, I know I'm stuck in this terrible, terrible storyline, but I'm just going to try to have some bangers with some people I want to have some bangers with. I thought that was great. So this was a weird bit of booking. So, okay. The House of Black have a thing called the House Rules, where it's a count of 20 instead of count of 10. There's no DQs, and the challengers get to make up a rule. So far, the challengers have banned Julia Hart from ringside and done a lucha-style trios, even though they're not that, a one-man out, one-man in rule, which is kind of cool. And in this case, the challengers said, we don't care about your rule. We don't need one. Which is then why do this? If you can't fucking think up a rule, why bother? Who cares? Don't have that you get to pick a rule thing if you're not going to fucking do it. Also, we didn't know who the challenger was going to be, but we all knew who it was going to be because the Acclaimed won a match on Rampage and talked about House of Black. And then when the Acclaimed came out, the announcers were surprised, but the audience was like, yeah, it was the Acclaimed. We knew it was going to be the Acclaimed. Some people liked it. I did not enjoy the rap from our boy Max Caster, where he referenced Dominic Mysterio, because in kayfabe, Dominic is going out with, he's in a relationship with Rhea Ripley, who in real life, Buddy Matthews is seeing. So, and it's come on. There's no need for that. You don't need to do all that shit. They have plenty of other stuff. I think the line about how are there no black people in House of Black is a totally reasonable line. It's totally fine to say, hey, we're the House of Black. No black people in here. It's yeah, all right. Sure. Get that. Yeah. Oh, also Billy Gunn in there as the muscle for his new sons. Totally fine. Totally okay with that. I don't mind seeing Billy there because I also knew they weren't going to win, and that's the spot to be in. Make people look good, have some matches, pop the crowd. The Acclaimed need to be back in the tag scene anyway. It is weird that they are not. And then you just have Billy Gunn hanging out with them. I thought it was fun. I actually thought this was a pretty fun match. I was plenty entertained by it. I love the lighting. I think that is just fun. And then just, hey, you know what? Malachi Black, just got really good kicks. His Muay Thai kicks just look fucking fierce. And I love that. Hello, welcome, Doodles. We're talking about last night's Double or Nothing, a pay-per-view from AEW. Got it going through the card. Talking about the matches. Taya Valkyrie challenged for Jade Cargill's TBS championship. And it was a pretty good competitive match, back and forth. Jade, it was one of Jade's better matches she's had in a while. Taya was game. Looked like this could be your night. It wasn't. It was Jade's 60th win. She was 60-0, which is pretty cool. And then they win the match. And we've got Mark Sterling comes in. That's the manager of Jade. Yeah, Doodles. The card was up and down, but there was some good shit there. We get this thing where he's just like, hey, we're going to talk about how awesome Jade is, because obviously Jade is awesome. I mean, she's 60-0, and it's like, where's the competition, folks? Like, what's going on? Who could possibly challenge our girl? Like, open challenge. Like, if there's somebody that wants to step up, let them step up. And then Chris Statlander came back. Chris Statlander, who made like one appearance pretty recently, has been making some appearances with AEW Together, which is their like charity fundraising initiative. So it's like, oh, cool. Okay, she's back. That's fun. It's Chris Statlander. Oh, so that's going to be Jade's next feud. No. Chris, who has not wrestled for a while, who was injured, came back and then was injured again, who many people thought was going to take the belt off Jade way back when. We'll never know, but that was always the theory. Oh, no, this match is now. Why would Jade agree to that? I don't know, but Jade did agree. Jade, who had just had a pretty competitive match, or one of her most competitive she's ever had, is apparently agreeing to this match right here, right now. And then Chris Statlander fucking won. What? I mean, this is going to be good for Jade. So hopefully she can take some time off, and they're going to, do a little retooling of the character. I don't think she's going to plan an excursion or anything, but she's going to have some time to be with her daughter and just kind of like chill a bit. And that's great. But this was a weird thing. And I'm also really nervous for Statlander because she just got back. And she looked good in the ring, but like, I don't know. I'm always a little worried about that. When people come back from injury and suddenly get thrust into a prominent position. But yeah, both of the former women's champions competed in matches they shouldn't have. There's no good reason for Jamie Hayter to agree to that match after she gets beat up constantly and was beat up that night. No reason for her to go, you know what? Yeah, I am going to defend my title. She should have just been like, actually, fuck this shit. I'm not doing it. I'll take the DQ. Thanks, I'm out. Peace out, everybody. She didn't do that, which, I think she should have, which was a weird choice. And then why Jade agreed to that match right here, right now, I also don't understand. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why she'd be like, you know what? Yes, I will put my title on the line against you who just came back while I am not at 100%. That sounds like the perfect idea for me to do. It just seems weird. Seems like a weird choice for Jade to be like, yeah, let's do it. Okay. But, we got some fun title changes, so I guess that's cool. Also, a thing that I should mention, one of the cooler things of the night, Jade had a very... Taya came out with a couple showgirls, because they were in Vegas, so a couple showgirls came out doing their thing, and that was fun to see. That was a neat bit of business. And then... Lasper says they did have the one Rampage recently where she did 2 squashes back-to-back, try to set this up. But yeah, weird choice. Yeah, they had 2 back-to-back wins. I think that wasn't to set this up. I think that was to make it so that when she beat Taya, it was for 60. Like, they did the math and decided that they wanted her to have 60 wins before she lost. So she was 60-1 because they thought that was a fun number. That's my thought. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but that's my guess. Is why they did that. But yeah, they did set up that she would take on. Ironhide the Fourth is here, and Ironhide the Fourth says, "Man with ripped jeans goes to the ancient Greek tailor. Tailor, Euripides, man, yeah, Euripides. Hi-oh, thank you for that. All right, so this has to click. It says." This has got to click, and let me look to see. It's kind of hard to see that. All right, so this is going to go in here like this and click, and it did click. It clicked and clacked. That's good. All right. because this is going to be, yeah. It's going to go like that. I think that's right. We'll find out later if I fuck this up, but I think I didn't. I think I did it right. It's weird because this is very similar to the body of the last kit, the Pente. So you'd think that I would totally remember how to do this, but I didn't. Anyway, Taya had a really cool entrance for this, and then Jade came out having Big Boss Vetti play her out, and then a bunch of steps, some ladies doing some steps, and they are all from the same sorority that she is from, that Jade is a member of. So that was cool. A neat bit of business. And Jade got to do some steps too. It just looked like she was having a good time. And I like that. You know, one last big entrance before you don't have a belt anymore. But yeah, it read like Jade is a big deal, which is good, which is what you want. You want it to read like she's a big ass deal, because she is. Let's see. The four-way match for the AEW World Championship. That's right. This was not the main event. You would think maybe it would be the main event because it's for the world title. But no, the grudge match, Anarchy in the Arena, needed to be the main event. And when you saw it, I get it. I don't like that, but I get it. And instead they just treated it like the semi-main event. And these four men worked like they were pissed off that they were not the main event. They worked hard. There was a segment in this. MJF won, which he knew he would. He won in heel fashion, which he knew he would. But he definitely, there were moments where it looked like he would, that someone else was going to win. No one else was going to win that match. It was always going to be MJF, which is kind of the problem. It was always going to be MJF, so it never really had the stakes it needed, even with it being a four-way fight. But it was still good, and we still got... there was a moment where everyone was doing their dad's moves. And I say dads in quotation marks. The wrestler that showed them the way. So you had Sammy Guevara pulling off some moves from Chris Jericho. You had Darby Allin doing some Sting moves. You had Jungle Boy doing some moves he learned from Christian, because Christian was kind of his, kind of showed him the way. And then you had MJF doing some moves from his friend, who he betrayed, of course, but he also, considered to be kind of a mentor in pulling off some moves from, Cody Rhodes. And so, yeah, nice bits of business there. I thought that was pretty neat. That they did that. Okay, so we got to do this like this. We're working on the shoulder here. So we can put that there. And then there's some stickers that have to go on here, so we'll apply some stickers. Sticker 7 and sticker... Oh, just sticker 7, so... Well, sticker 7 and 7. There's 2 7s. Great. These are color correcting stickers. We'll put them on there. They should be okay. But yeah, MJF won, and it was great. He used great ring psychology. And he won against Darby Allin with a headlock takeover, which is how he won the last time they fought, and also was a thing that Darby kept threatening. I might even win with a headlock takeover. So then he still won with that, which is a real heel bullshit thing to do, and good bit of business. Very good bit of business from MJF. But yeah, this and the opening match were my favorite matches of the card. Great vibes, great moments. Crowd was on their feet for a lot of it. There was a segment where all four men were in the ring trying to submit one another in submission holds, and you had Bryce running around the ring trying to keep an eye on everyone to see if anyone tapped out. It was really fucking funny and really well done. It was a good segment. Yeah, it was really tough. Oh, also, Sammy Guevara, who was working kind of heel, but also kind of babyface, via cue card announced that he and Tay Mello, his wife, are expecting a child, which is lovely, and congratulations to them. And it's very funny because when they announced that, I was like, oh, he's losing. Cool. Also MJF did a Storm Cradle driver, a la Mikey Whipwreck. MJF, big fan of ECW. He's from the right parts of the country, but it is very funny to see him pull off a Mikey Whipwreck move. That was just like very cool and neat. That's also a wrestler you would assume that like Darby Allin liked or something. Also, MJF did. They for a little while they were like, oh, that's an avalanche power bomb, but it was like, no, the way he landed, that's a blonde bombshell. Like Taz knew immediately. No, he's doing Chris Candido's move, which Taz was was a friend of Chris's, and that was lovely. And you could like, you know, they were all fast and loose throughout the night, but you could just tell it in his voice that Taz was really happy to see that move. That was a nice bit of business. Then, of course, the main event, Anarchy in the Arena, a 4-on-4 match, which saw the Elite, the now 4-man Elite, the returned Elite to once prominence of course, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page, who revealed that the eye patch he was wearing, his eye is healed. He didn't need that eye patch anymore. Which is a fun thing to just, you know, show in the match. Versus the Blackpool Combat Club, which of course is Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Bryan Danielson. And it ended when the dust settled. Wheeler Yuta pinned Kenny Omega. And that's nonsense. That's a nonsense thing to say. Came out of my mouth. Wheeler Yuta, who always seems like the odd man out in these things, pinned Kenny Omega. It's wild. Wild, wild, wild. I'm telling you. Shit is crazy. Oh, I gotta put more on this here. This match was a mess, and not in a way that I really liked. There was a tax spot where a foot wearing no soccer shoes was slammed into a bunch of thumbtacks, and that sucked, and I hated it. At one point, a giant coin, because of course Double or Nothing, you know, poker themed, a giant coin was flipped over to reveal that it had a bunch of barbed wire taped onto it. That was weird and kind of nonsense. There was a point where a Jackson, one of the Jacksons, came out and super kicked someone, Jon Moxley, and then fireworks shot out of his boot, like his boot exploded. And that's dumb in a way that I can get behind. That is some stupid bullshit and complete and utter nonsense. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Of course. And then Takeshita showed up. Takeshita, who had aligned himself with Don Callis, we haven't seen in a while since Don turned on Kenny, revealed he is also a bad guy now. Is he part of the Blackpool Combat Club? Doesn't seem like it, but maybe he is. At the very least, he's happy. He and Don are happy to help the Blackpool Combat Club win. But maybe they are. Maybe he's a member of the Blackpool or just an associate fellow bad guy. We don't know. But it did cost them the match. And so that means that Blackpool Combat Club won. And what a lot of people were saying, like, you don't reunite the Elite to have them lose. To which I say, I mean, you probably do that. And they did. Was a lot. I have not talked about the worst part of the night. Also, they put a bunch of fucking thumbtacks in one of the Bucks' faces, and that sucks. I forgot the fact that there was a band named the Violent Idols. The Violent Idols played their version of Wild Thing, which is Jon Moxley's theme, so they could come out to the ring together. And then, so last year in the last Anarchy in the Arena match, Jon Moxley's theme just played in a loop, like was some sort of New Jack match where his music just kept playing because that's cool as hell. So in this instance, his music just kept playing last year. And then this year, a band played them out, and the band kept playing. And the band kept playing until the Bucks, Matt and Nick, got to the ring and double super kicked the lead singer. And they both kicked the lead singer in the face, and then he got knocked out, so then the rest of the band stopped playing. They didn't immediately stop, though. They just, finished what they were playing, which I think is very funny, that they just saw their band leader, their lead singer, get double kicked in the face, and they were like, well, we should follow, I got to finish this drum fill, and then we'll, leave. Should also mention that the lead singer of the Violent Idols wears a mask on part of his face, and then below that, he wears makeup to match the mask, and then he has, red over his mouth, but then the mask and his forehead mask and his face are painted the same color to make him look different. And by look different, I mean it looks like that man was wearing blackface. And this is a public service announcement that I have had to say more than once on this stream in 6 years that I have been a streamer, almost 6 years. I can't believe that on more than one occasion I've had to fucking say this. Don't put on blackface. What the fuck? Oh, it's makeup. No, it's fucking blackface makeup. Hot take by Pat Baer. Yeah, real hot take. Unbelievable. I could not believe it. And people are like, oh yeah, he does this all the time. I'm like, that doesn't make it better or okay. It means that he doesn't have anyone in his life that cares about. It's one of those signs, right? It's a sign that you do not have people in your life that care about you or that are good. You have no good people in your life if you have no one that goes, hey, the makeup you wear sucks shit, dude. Fucking fix it. What are you doing? Make it blue or whatever, or red or whatever. But what are you doing? You got nobody in your life to do that for you. That sucks, lead singer of the Violent Idols. That no one in your life will be like, hey, stop it. Unbelievable. The music was already distracting, and then I was like, what's up with this fucking dude? What's going on here? The fuck? Pissed me off real bad. And that was Double or Nothing. A very mediocre show. Very high highs, plenty of low lows. Something for everybody, but not super. I'm not positive about that, because there was definitely some stuff for people that like bad wrestling. There was some good stuff, like I said. Hey, MJF. Both of his title defenses in pay-per-views have been phenomenal. His 60-minute gauntlet with Bryan Danielson, excellent. This match, fucking excellent. Bangers. Doesn't wrestle much as a champion because he's a heel champion, and I think that's fine. I think that is totally fine that he does not throw him up that often, because when he does, it's fucking great. I did not think any of those men were going to win that match besides him. And that's a bummer. But it would have been nice if there was, in my mind, a chance that any of them were going to win. Maybe Darby. Darby's won a bunch of TNT titles. I could maybe see Darby doing a short spot at the top there, but everything else like nah, no. They're still barely not calling Jungle Boy, and he doesn't got it. He doesn't got it on the mic. And Sammy, there's still more money in Sammy being a heel. The audience is. The audience cheers him doing cool shit, but they don't cheer him being a good person. So I don't know. Don't know about that. Anyway, now is the part of the stream where I'm going to take a pause for the cause. I'm going to take a couple minutes to talk about ways you can support the channel. And everything I'm going to say here is optional. Thank you very much, Lord Crashington, for clipping that. I do not know if I'm going to be putting that up on YouTube, but I do appreciate you doing the clip. Thank you. But yes, as John just said, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Throw those emotes in there. That's to let people know that you are a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop. It is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, your $5 a month, like Mr. Bob did, Tier 1 there, or your Prime Gaming token, which you have a lot of people who use their Prime Gaming token for me, which I really appreciate. Hi, Aristocrat. Either way, subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do here. You could also gift a sub. Bobby gifted 12 fucking subs this month, which is ridiculous, and I really appreciate it. John and Omega both donated or gifted a sub, which is very kind of them. I will have a subathon next month as I try to break my all-time record and get to 86 subscribers. That will be on my birthday. It'll be on my 43rd birthday, which is Friday, June 23rd. Ways away. It's less than a month away, but it is a ways away. So yes, we got that. But there are other ways to support what I do here. Also, everything I'm talking about here is optional. I'm not saying you have to do any of this stuff. If you want to, that would be rad. And I'm ready for you to do it. Like if you want to subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider becoming a subscriber. It would be cool as hell. And joining me over there. There's also my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. For just $2 a month over there, you become a member. And as a member over on my YouTube channel, you get my Wednesday videos a day early because I do a video every single Wednesday. It's a comedy video or some such thing, an entertainment video. And I've been doing that now for several years where I do a new video a month in the theme. This theme is a thing called Baerly Rehearsed. And the next one that's coming out is real good. So if you want to see that tomorrow instead of waiting for Wednesday, it's a fun one. It's a short one, but it's pretty funny. So I think you'll like it. We got that. Also, those are monthly ways to support me, but maybe you just want to help me out now and again. Maybe you want to make sure I can get another model kit to build and you want to help me out. What about a one-time donation to Coffee or PayPal or Stream Elements and everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out there, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I take money out of that fund and I buy model kits with it. The kit that I just finished up, the Baer Pente, that came from your generosity. The kits that I've been able to pre-order comes from your generosity, and I really appreciate that. Now, if you don't want me to pull from my backlog, if you're like, no, Pat, I don't want your $10 patrons to vote on what you build next. I want to decide what you build next. Well, you could buy something off my Amazon wish list, just like Claire did. Hey, Claire. Claire picked this up. We're building this kit, the Heindree. We're building this right now because Claire picked it off of my Amazon wish list. So you can go to my Amazon wish list there and see if there's something that you would like to pick up from me. We'll take a look at it really quick right now. I got Lego sets. I got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, inexpensive Lego, expensive Lego. A bunch of different things that I would be happy to build. If you see something there you'd like to see me work on stream, pick it up. Sometimes stuff goes on sale, and yeah, and sometimes it takes forever to go on sale, and I'm just like, ooh, that's nice. There's a kit there that like is really great that's on sale a little bit. The Suletta kit, the Figure Rise kit from Suletta Mercury, is currently $37.48, which is price drop, which is nice. And yeah, if you pick that kit up, I'd build it next. That'd be the next thing that I build. So see if there's something there on the list that you'd like to pick up for me to put together. It's all optional, of course, but maybe there's something there. I do have a Throne wish list, which is different from Amazon. It goes through Throne. They're a great company to work with. See if there's something there that you would like to see me build, or there's a couple of things for pre-order there as well. And then USA Gundam Store. You just buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store and then send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter with your gift card code, and I will use that gift card code and buy something from USA Gundam Store. And it would probably be something from Witch from Mercury. Let's see, I'm getting some... Okay, great. Let me just really quick check to see. Nope, I don't have any people wanting to send me a DM. So my DMs are open, so sometimes I get some real nonsense. If you want to support me and not spend any money, join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. There's a couple people in there. Well, right now, there's one person in there who does not watch the streams anymore, but they do chat in the Discord, and that's totally fine. I think that's okay. There's no requirement. Let's see. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I'll have a new one up on Monday, next Monday, but this is still the previous weeks because I do it every other week. This is a video where I talk about the 14 Crunchyroll originals that are out there. There are 14 originals, which were fully produced or co-produced by Crunchyroll. Some manhwa, some not anime at all, some Japanese stuff. And some are really good, and some are not really good. When I rank all of them using Tier Maker. Because why not? And then Baerly Rehearsed. If you haven't watched this week's, this is called The Reunion. It is about a high school reunion. It is a silly little thing. I love using the Zoom backgrounds or uploading backgrounds and using Zoom's interface to do that as a cheap green screen. I don't do it that often, but every once in a while I like to jump in on the green screen because I think it's silly to do that for a video. Also, I have started recording my videos, my regular videos in a better quality. So they should look a little bit better. I've been tweaking that and working on that. So that way I have my streaming quality and then I have my recording quality. So I'm trying to work on that. Let's see. What do I got to do? What I got to do next? Oh, we're going to talk about some anime, and we'll talk about some manga first and then some anime. Of course, it is Manga Monday and Witch from Mercury Monday, so we got those things to talk about. Let's talk about a manga first, and then we'll get into some anime talk. And I do need to drink some water. I was out grilling today. I definitely lost a little water weight from the heat coming off that grill, so I got to take care of that. And also, I'm thirsty, so we'll do that, and then we'll dramatically transition back to the overhead and do a little more panel lining, and then start working on the left arm in just a moment. Here we go. Needed that. Okay. 8K Pat Bear when? No. Okay, I'll tell you when. I'll tell you when we get 4K or 8K Pat Bear. When I have fiber internet again. Because right now I'm streaming to you right now wirelessly. I have a wireless booster to the router to make this wireless signal as good as possible. It is as good as it possibly could be. But my upload is still like 11. My upload is trash. So I'm not uploading 8K video anytime soon. I'm not uploading 4K video. I used to record my... oh yeah, that'll take forever. You're right. When I used to live in New York and I had Fios, I was recording locally. My local copies were like 2 gig video files. They were really good. Really, really good quality because I had Fios and it was easy to upload. I was uploading huge video files and they would get uploaded so fast that like the video would be uploaded in like a couple minutes and it would take like to process those videos up to HD would take like 35, 40 minutes. Whereas now it does not take long to go from SD to HD because it just takes, because it's already processing the HD while the SD is uploading. But I was just like, I was choking the system. It was uploading so fast. I was using really high quality files back then. I do not do that now. I do at stream quality, so it's pretty low because otherwise it would take forever. I'm already uploading videos like it's already taking a little under 2 hour video is already taking like 40 minutes to upload at low quality, like barely HD. But they're my VODs, so it's like, it's fine. It's like that I don't mind that. I don't mind that my VODs are of a lower quality. But I am making my shorter videos. It's gonna be tough because I'm making all my Pat Baerly Anime Club videos like look better, and then I'm gonna upload like the stream archive because we'll do another Pat Baerly's Anime Club live on a Tuesday for the spring wrap up / fall summer preview, which is coming. That's coming, folks. Gigabit fiber is nice. Yes, I miss FiOS. I miss 100 up, 100 down. Oh God, I miss 100 up, 100 down. And like, that's not even the expensive one. It was still expensive. It was still fast as fuck and great, but it was still pricey. I remember convincing my roommate we needed to get it, and he was just like, "Oh shit, this is fast, dude." And I was like, "Yes, it's very fast. I'm not lying. I wasn't lying to you. I miss it. I miss it very, very much. It would be so nice to have it. We don't have it here. Hell yeah, Google Fiber. Get that shit. Let's talk about some manga. I got one manga to talk to you. It's not an isekai. Weirdly enough, friends. Let's talk about I've been kicked out of an S-rank guild. But only I can communicate with dragons. Before I knew it, I became the greatest dragon knight. This is a fun little fantasy series. It is a little slow-paced slice of life about a dude that, in a world where people use dragons as, like, transportation and as, like, partners, most guilds full of dragons don't treat those dragons that well. They treat them like property. They know that dragons can understand human speech, but nobody can understand dragon tongue. So they don't really communicate too well. And it does lead to some problems, including our main character, he's got this fucking ridiculous idea that dragons should be treated as friends and coworkers and with respect. And so like, nah, dude, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, all right, I'll get my own dragon. He doesn't really have a lot of money to do that because he's going to be a freelancer. But he's like, no, I can make it work because he can communicate with dragons. So he finds a dragon that by all accounts is great, except doesn't seem to want to work. Good gravy at this rate. These series are going to have titles longer than the actual story. I mean, I did a whole, not this current one, my previous. Yes, as John says, if only someone had a video talking about long light novel titles. I do have one of those because, as a reminder, kanji is shorter than you can fit a lot of kanji on a bind of a book or a title page of a book. But I made a whole video in Pat Baerly's Anime Club in the series there talking about why light novel titles are long, and it's mostly to attract people to check it out. So that's why they're telling you everything you need to know about what this story could be about to pique your interest. So our dude can communicate with dragons. And dragons are fucking surprised about this because they're just like, yeah, I know you can't understand what I'm saying, but like, it would be nice if you would listen to me. And he's just like, no, I hear you. Yeah, I understand. So he gets a dragon that has been really competitive with people and or just wants to sleep all the time. And people just assume this dragon's lazy. And he's just like, so what would you want? What would encourage you to do work? And he's like, this dragon's like, I don't know, I guess a comfy place to sleep and maybe something like nice, like something, like a nice bed. And I want, I don't want to work too much. Like I'll work, but I don't want to work too much. And he's like, oh, sure, I can do that. We'll work on your schedule. And then he starts accepting jobs because this dragon, like he's got to like work within it. And this dragon does want some sleep and wants to sleep in a comfortable place, but also like doesn't mind doing some work and likes our guy. Now it's time to get another dragon. This dragon doesn't seem to like people. Doesn't seem to respond well to certain people. Kind of wants to do its own thing. And he's like, okay, you can handle deliveries if you want to handle deliveries. Like, you know where to go. I'll let you do that. What do you want? It's like, that ribbon. Because guess what, friends? We got a tsundere dragon that likes pretty things, but doesn't like wants you to understand that they want pretty things. Like, doesn't want to have to like spell it out for you. And it's cute. It's a cute little bit of business. And basically, our guy starts a guild, even though he's just one man. And when the dragons start doing stuff and start accomplishing tasks, his abilities increase and he gets stronger. And they're happy. Like, he finds a place for them to live, and he's gonna get it. Where I left off here, he is now getting a third dragon, which is pretty fun. But yeah, there's like a lot of like, he got a place for cheap because dragons hate this place, and no one else has been able to find out why dragons don't like this place. And the dragons are like, we got bad vibes in this place. We can sense and smell the blood. Something bad happened to a dragon here. If this barn was cleaned out, it'd be perfect. And so he's like, oh, that's the reason why no dragon wants to come in this place. All I have to do is spend a lot of time cleaning it, and the dragons will be happy. Excellent. And that's basically what we've got going on here. It is a fairly simple story about a good guy with one skill that people don't. It's not that he's like surprisingly powerful. It's that the people around him didn't really believe him and didn't think it was a big deal. And he is showing them, oh, it actually is a pretty fucking big deal. Like, he's on his way to prove them. They're like, hey, you get better results my way, which is really, really cool. It's a nice bit of business. I like it. The dragons are all fun. They all have fun personalities, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from them and see like more shenanigans. Maybe even some setbacks and some hardships along the way. Perhaps we might get that. I don't know. But yeah, it is so far been a lovely little series. I look forward to more of. I've been kicked out of an S-rank guild, but only I can communicate with dragons. Before I knew it, I became the greatest dragon knight. He's not the greatest dragon knight right now, but he's on his way. He's building up his guild. And that's fun. I like it. Now it's time to talk about anime. And now it's time to get bummed the fuck out. Even more bummed out. Suletta goes full on depressed goblin mode. She is not putting on a good face. The rest of Earth House is like really bummed out and concerned for her. Yes, Doodles, the kicked from the Heroes Party stuff. You trace back this before we get into the Suletta stuff. You trace this back. Okay, what's popular in light novels and gets copied by other people? That becomes popular in manga because those do well. Then that becomes popular in anime because the anime adapts the light novel because the light novel and the manga are selling well. So now it's time to make an anime adaptation. I called this a year ago that we would start seeing more banished / kicked. Because it's not always the Hero's Party. It can be banished from my family and sent to the outskirts. But it turns out my ability, which you didn't think was great, Duke, is actually great on the frontier and is actually overpowered. Or I got kicked out of the Heroes. I mean, there's a whole anime that the premise of the anime is this guy has to get kicked out from the Hero's Party like 1,000 times before he can go back home. So he has to pretend to be useless till he gets kicked out. And now he is, I believe, restarting all of his lives with his abilities, because when he only knows from the first world, but when he left the first world, everything turned to shit, and so now he can go back and fix that stuff with his abilities. So they're already like playing with that. The two most popular like isekai slash not necessarily an isekai tropes right now, because they're in both, are Kicked and the isekai thing of returning back to Earth. We have one show this season that is a guy that was a hero, returned back to Earth, and is now back to his old world again. It's not a good anime, so I'm not watching it, but because it's not a good manga, I should say. I don't know if it's good anime, but it was not a manga that I enjoyed, so I have not checked it out there. Oh, I missed a sticker on the chest here, huh? Didn't I? Yes, I did. Let me see if I can pop this piece out here. Yes, I can. But yeah, you're going to see a lot more anime about being kicked. Another this season where the guy gets bounced between worlds. Yes, there is also the which I've been covering because I actually enjoy it because it's dumb but it's fun. It's a fun dumb. We are now past the manga on there. Obviously there's more light now, but yes, we are getting the guy that got overpowered abilities in another world and is now being able to go bounce back and forth. And we will definitely see a bunch of post isekais. There are manga and light novels right now. A pretty popular thing is the like, oh yeah, I was a hero in another world and now I'm back in this world. And in the manhwa, in the Korean comic world, that's been popular for a very long time. It's a mash of their two most popular subgenres. Two of their most popular, I should say. Not the two most popular. Two of their most popular. The subgenre of I'm now in the ancient Chinese Miran world, and I'm a hunter in a guild because dungeons opened up, and the response to dungeons and monster invasions is to form guilds. There's a lot of manhwa about I somehow got transported into the Miran world, became super magically powerful, and now I'm back in my original world, but now there's also dungeons. And sometimes the twist on that is I was in hell. There are like 4 or 5 manhwa where the premise is I got sent to hell by mistake and I got really powerful in hell and now I'm back on Earth, but there's monsters now. There weren't monsters when I left Earth, but now there are monsters and I have to do that. And also like high school shit sometimes. That is a very popular subgenre now, is the I'm back from hell bitches subgenre. But then also now there's monsters. And of course, both in Japan and in Korea and in China, because manhwa, I don't read a lot of manhwa, but that's also so popular, is I am in a dating game. I am the villainess in a dating game, or I am the sub-character in a dating game. The, I'm in an otome game thing is popular in all 3 countries. That shit is, I don't think, going away anytime soon. That still has a lot of legs. All of them enjoy that shit, which is fun. What's not fun is Mobile Suit Gundam The Witcher Mercury Season 2. Suletta has been abandoned by her mother, her fiance, and her Gundam, which has the soul of her, which we thought was her sister, but turns out to be the main source of the actual child of her real mother, because Suletta is like a clone and not her real mom, and her real mom, her real daughter is inside the Gundam, not her. So she has been forcibly removed from everyone. And then it's awful. The Earth House kind of gets her to open up and kind of like share what's going on and be supportive. Suletta is definitely not in a good spot. Martin is like, hey, I reported Nika and like I'm a narc, and they were like, okay, and they kind of forgive him because he admitted what's going on. Mjolnir gets a pause in the riots on Earth because she's like, we can figure this shit out, and that's part of her plan in elections. And then Ghoul meets a boy from his time when he was a prisoner at Dawn of Fold. And then that boy is just like, kind of accidentally lets him know that Shattuck was involved in all of this. And now Ghoul is looking for evidence of that. And then Prospera, quote unquote, I saw some people being like, oh, Prospera is going rogue. And I'm like, no, Prospera is doing whatever Prospera fucking wants to do. She's doing what you should, anyone that's like, it's so weird what Prospera is doing. The lady in the mask with the plan for something called Quiet Zero. I know I harp on Quiet Zero a lot, but what the fuck? That doesn't sound good. Nothing called Quiet Zero could be cool. That's always going to be shit for people. That's going to be like best of intentions, worst results. There's no way that's a good thing. She's like, all right, time to get fucked up and fuck things up. There was a Gundam factory that the space agency was building, so Ariel destroys that because they were trying to suppress some people, and then negotiations break down, everything escalates, people are like accusing Mjorne of being in charge of that, and then it's a thing where they're like, did you know this was happening? And she's like, no, and they're like, that's a shame because everything's fucked. Well, then you've been taken advantage of. Like, this, like, oh, shit, yeah. These adults are just like, well, yeah, then you're being manipulated. That sucks. Belmoria ends up escaping because Prospera helps her out. And then I'm not as convinced as Soletta is. I'll read your comments, Doodles and John, there in a second. But I just want to get this out because I've been thinking about it. So it seems like, from my perspective, Soletta thinks that Eric, the actual daughter, Prospera's actual daughter, and the controller of the Ariel, Soletta thinks that Eric got rid of her in order to prevent Soletta from having to commit these acts under Prospera's direction, that Eric is protecting her. And I think that is a very lovely sentiment, but rings naive and untrue to me. Like, do I think that Eric, like, as Ariel, has some sort of connection to Soletta, the one that's on the outside, the one that lives like she could have lived if things had gone much differently in a different world? Yeah. Do I think that she, like, willingly turned her back on her sibling clone in order to protect her? I'm not 100% sure on that, because, like, I don't know how much to read into our Ariel, the Gundam with the soul of a person, being a competent, reasonable, not broken person. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, of course, Mjorne blames herself for what happened, and that's the episode. Doodle says, however, she seems to be coming out of it and recognizes what's going on because Prospera has just shit in everybody's sherbet and serving them with a smile. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Soletta's kind of coming out of her depression, but I still think that she's being very naive about all of this, which, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing in the world to be a little naive. A Gundam character with a mask doing bad things? I mean, I know, right? Anyone who paid any serious attention to this plot does not have the right to be surprised about how things have gone utterly pear-shaped for everyone but Prospera. I mean, like, here's the thing, right? There are some people that they're only surface level about the show, and, you know, hey, live your life. Live your best life. If you're just like, it's a high school thing, and there's some bad stuff, yeah, you know, it's like, okay. I mean, you can look at that. But, yeah, I think people were sometimes very surprised about being surprised. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of times people are just reacting to what they're seeing. And Shattuck's been rumbled. Yes. He's the sole thing common, says Lord Crashington. The idea that there is a personality or a will. So, the will of the Gundam is a thing that we have seen in some shows. It sometimes is explained by being like it's a part of the personality. It's because they're using their mind to control it, that the Gundam seems to have a will of its own. Sometimes it's like a little more of like the heart of the cards kind of thing, where it's undefined, where like it's a partnership and this machine feels almost human. Um, but there also have been Gundam series where people are like special psychics, and they're like kind of melded to their machine, and their soul is kind of still there even after they're gone. It is not out of the realm of possibility to have a Gundam series where uh, a new pilot is in a vehicle. It's also it's in the manga, some of the manga stuff a little bit, but like a pilot is dealing with the fact that it feels like the last pilot in this Gundam is still like around and making their presence known. Like that's a thing. Uh, Lashmer says it would fit with the short story where Ariel was like, "I'll be your tool of revenge, but leave Soletta out of it." See, I haven't read the short story, so like to me, the short story doesn't exist because I haven't read it. It might be canon. It might not be canon. It might help explain what's going on here. Where like the Ariel Eric is like, hey, leave Soletta out of this shit. Like she shouldn't be part of your revenge. I do appreciate that multiple people are just like, yeah, I'll be a bad person. I will help you with your bullshit plans, but like stop it with this shit. Like stop using Suletta for your revenge. But does Prospera consider Suletta her actual daughter? Isn't the Ariel her actual daughter? Like, does she even consider Suletta her real daughter? I don't know. She's willing to let her go, do her own thing. I don't know. Shit's fucked, y'all. This story continues to go places and is wild in many aspects. A lot is going on. And then I want to talk to you about the Aristocrat's Otherworldly adventure, Serving Gods Who Go Too Far. This is another nonsense isekai that I enjoy. It is an easy watch. It is animated well because it's not, it's adapting the light novel. Some things have been moved around. I've been reading the manga. I'm way past this, but I was like, oh, this is the episode where he meets an animal friend. Actually, in this episode, he meets both his animal companions because it condensed the manga chapters into just one anime episode. So in this episode, we get a big old info dump. A bunch of shit gets said in this. A bunch of like, all right, we're building out this world, gets says there. Prospera keeps referring to Soletta as that girl instead of her daughter. She's fine with leaving. I mean, Doodles, that could be her. Yeah, I mean, that totally could be how she actually feels, or it could be what she's convinced herself. She's convinced herself that, like, that isn't her, like, flesh and blood in order to continue on her revenge, because is her revenge necessary if she actually has a daughter? Is it as necessary? So. Soletta did what Soletta needed to do in that respect, certainly. Soletta's active role in her revenge is done. We don't know. There's always the late season twist. There's always the sacrifice that seems to come out of nowhere and a bit of information that's given out. There's always room for more. There's always room for more pathos, is what I'll say. But I am done talking about Witcher Mercury until next week. Because so much fucking information got dumped in this episode of the Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure, Serving Gods Who Go Too Far. The end of the last episode, our dude, Kine, telepathically was told, hey, come this place. I need to talk to you. We know that this person was chosen by the 7 gods to help out our Kine and train him. Because in a couple of years, a big bad is going to show up and the gods can't fight this big bad, and Kain is going to have to. That's the reason why Kain was isekai in the first place, was to become strong enough to take on this great evil, which we're going to learn about in this episode, what's going on with this evil. So, Kain meets Yuya Hirashawa. Yuya, which is also the name of the protagonist in another anime out this season, so that's fun. Yuya Hirasawa, who was King Yuya Esfort, the first king of the kingdom that Kain is in. That created it. He's also, and he was isekai, and he has become a god. He's a minor god. He's not one of the great seven, but he's a minor god. And in the place they're in right now is a world that he created for himself because he is basically immortal at this point, which is a lot of information to be given up. But basically, Yuya is like, hey, I need to train you. I know you think you're very strong, but you're going to be facing someone who is way stronger. And then, like, we get the sense that Aaron, the person that he needs, or Aaron, that he needs to fight, has some kind of connection to Yuya. We don't quite know what that is. We're going to find, I know what it is because I've read the manga, but we're going to find out what that connection is eventually. So he's like, okay, your one task is to make it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I need you to make it to back to this house. He teleports him at the edge of the property, this forest. He's like, the monsters you face here are incredibly tough, and you are going to have a rough time getting to me. But your task is to get to where I am. It takes him years to do it. I believe it's 4 years. Along the way, he rescues a Fenrir puppy that he names Haku. And now he's got an animal companion. He's got a legendary beast to be his bro, which is great. And Haku is lovely. It's like a real cute looking animal friend. And then he makes it back, and he's like, okay, now I will tell you, and also the audience, what's up. There originally were 8 gods, and Aaron was the god of amusement. And Kain's like, okay, and he's a fallen god. And Kain's like, that makes sense, because, like, I've introduced a bunch of games to this world. It feels like this world doesn't have any games. It makes sense because they don't have any gods. The god of entertainment's gone. But the thing is that Kain finds out that the god of entertainment was a fucking asshole. Because the things that entertained him the most were the suffering of humans. So, like, wars and stuff like that. He became corrupted and set kingdoms against each other. And death games. Like, he just became a big fan of death games. Loves that genre of the subgenre of manga. And he was reincarnated. Our Yuya died and was reincarnated from Japan because, this is important for the reasons why this is happening, gods cannot interfere with what happens, directly interfere with stuff on Earth or on that planet. So they couldn't stop Aaron. So they decided, let's bring over some humans from another world. We'll give them some powers when they reincarnate. And then they'll be strong enough and they'll defeat Aaron for us. And so Yuya got summoned with 2 other people, Seiya and Megami. And they were bummed out because they died in an accident and left their child behind in Japan all alone while they are in this other world. And because time is all weird and relative in all of this, their child was Kain. His parents got isekai'd when they died. And I think this is not the first time that I've heard of something like this. There have been even Kenshi in Tenchi Muyo. Tenchi's mom was an alien from a different dimension when she showed up on Earth and met the dad. Kenshi, his younger brother, same thing. She's from another dimension. She is shown it specifically to have a child with Tenshi's dad. Like that shit has happened in Isekai before, where the parent there's some thing, I can't remember what it is. There's a manga out right now where the big revelation is that this dude is in a world and got powers that he got from his grandmother, who was from another world, and he's now hanging out with his grandmother, who faked her own death at a certain point when her husband died, who was from Earth. I can't remember what the manga that is in, but that's in a manga right now. So that's not totally new. But it is kind of interesting that Kind's parents were also isekai, and now he's there. Yuya lost Kind's parents, so Kind's parents died in both worlds, fighting Eren, and they managed to seal Eren, and that seal is breaking. We knew that was what's happening. Eren was never defeated. He was just sealed at the price of both of their lives, and then Yuya survived and then became the king and all that. And I don't think they say it in the anime, but in the manga, it is revealed that the reason why Yuya, who is way stronger than Kind and has gotten way stronger than he was before, the reason why he can't fight Eren, the evil god, is because he's now a god. Yuya has transcended and become a god, and so he cannot fight, which feels like a fucking cop-out, but is at least some kind of explanation as why the revealed strongest character in the anime can't do shit, is because he is not allowed to do shit. So it's like, okay, I guess that checks out. Kind goes and trains as a warrior with an elf named Darien. It is fun to have an elf warrior. That is a rare trope in anime. It is often that elves are, archers or whatever. Occasionally you do have some elf warriors, but it's certainly less frequent. So we meet Darien and Darien's wife. He trains for a whole year. And while he's there, he meets a young dragon. And that dragon, thinks Haku, the puppy, is cool. Really likes Kind's vibe. And the dragon doesn't have a name, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you name this one? We'll see if this dragon really does want to hang out with you." And so Kind's just like, "Okay, your name is Gin," and the dragon's just like, "Hell yeah, yes." So now, when Kind's finished with his training, he ends up leaving with dragon Gin, so Gin can see the world. So now Kind has a Fenrir puppy and a baby dragon. It's pretty fucking cool. He got 2 animal friends in one fucking episode. That's pretty neat. And then Yuya gives a sword, which is neat. He gives him a sword. He says, "Give this to the king, and the king will understand why you left. The king will believe you because you haven't been gone for that long. It's not 5 years to anyone else." And then Kind hasn't seen his fiancés in 5 years to him, but to them it's like a week. So he's like tearfully so excited to be reunited with them, and they're like, "Hey, you disappeared for almost a whole week. What the fuck? You gotta apologize and explain yourself." He's just like, yeah. Oh, Kind. He's always, his future brides are always getting at him. Won't just let him be. We're not going to finish this kit tonight, but we are so fucking close to finishing this. We have the feet and the leg connectors, and then the backpack, and then the 2 shields, the gun shield and the not gun shield. So we are finishing this kit on Thursday, and I will have to do a poll tomorrow for my $10 patrons about what we start next, because this shit is almost done. We'll pan a line and work on more, but we're probably gonna get ready to wrap up here. Um, Video game wise, I haven't really been playing anything. I was prepping for tomorrow's stream. I can promote tomorrow's stream for you. It's another one of my bonus streams. It is the non video game stream or non the it's not video games, but it is the non model kit building stream. We are going to get ready for a raid because we always end with a raid. We're going to find someone cool doing stuff. I know that Mary streamed yesterday, so she's not streaming tonight. So we're going to find somebody else on a Monday to go hang out with. I don't. Tomorrow we're not playing a video game. We're going to be watching old wrestling from Japan. I've got stuff from All Japan Women's, Michinoku Pro, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I got about like an hour and 40 minutes of footage for us to watch. I have watched all of it. I have vetted all of it. And we'll take a look at that. Some of the matches are short. Some of them are long. It'll all be good, and you'll like it, I think. I hope you will. I hope you have a good time with it. Hey, we haven't rated Arthur Geese in a while. Arthur's playing System Shock. So we're going to go hang out with Arthur while Arthur plays System Shock. So let's get that going there. It's been a little while since we hung out with Arthur Geese on a stream. As Judd says, we always end with a raid. So we're going to get ready for that. Yeah, so tomorrow night, I hope you come check out that stream. It'll be fun. On Thursday, we will finish up this kit and start something new. Again, I don't know what that's going to be. I'll have to, tell people about it. Or I'll have to, have people vote. But this was a fun kit to put together. It's nice and quick and easy. It looks really cool. And then in the future, we might do a stream where I cover this with glitter paint. But it won't be immediate because I want the everything to settle on it. But in the future, I might do that. Thank you, everybody, for coming along this raid. I hope everybody else comes because I want to see Arthur play System Shock. That'll be fun. And I hope you come back on my next stream, which is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, where I watch old wrestling. That's going to be a good time. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.